Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome back for another card. Today's card uses the Happy Panda set by My Favorite Things. When I saw this, I just could not resist it. I had to get it. It's just so adorable. So first thing I'm going to do is take some Simon Says Stamp green ink. This is green leaf and the bamboo stamp, and I'm going to just stamp it across the top. And the nice thing about this stamp is that you can continue it on. So I'm going to continue it on the right and on the left. The next stamp I'm going to do is the bottom panda. So I'm going to position the top one so I know how far below that to put the bottom panda. And I'm going to ink him up with some Memento Tuxedo black ink because I'm going to be using some Copic markers to shade him. The next thing I'm going to do is stamp my bamboo on the sides. I'm going to put some a post-it on the bottom, and notice I'm putting some masking tape on top of it, like surgical tape, because this Simon Says Stamp ink is very, very juicy, and the first time I did this I had to start over because it went through the post-it, so I'm trying to be really careful here. So I even went below the tape and realized that, so I picked up my post-it quickly, and I just put some more tape underneath the post-it to protect my panel. And so I noticed the bottom leaf did not stamp, so I just covered the whole thing up and I didn't re-ink my stamp so I can get that remaining ink on the cardstock for that leaf. And then I'm going to stamp another time on the left with the green leaf. Now I'm using green apple, just a different shade of green. It's just a little bit lighter. I'm going to do one on each side. And I'm varying the lengths of the bamboo. And then I'm using Lemongrass by Avery Elle. It's a pigment ink, but that's okay. It's just a little bit lighter, just so I can have a variety in color. And then I decided I wanted to add one more green leaf on each side. And that'll be it. And I also, you notice I added another post-it underneath there. I just wanted to protect my surface. So now I'm going to remove my post-its and my surgical tape. Next I'm going to stamp my top panda. I'm just going to stamp him on some Nina Solar White cardstock. And I'm going to be cutting him out. This is why he's on a separate sheet of paper. And I'm going to use some W1 to shade him. So in the areas where there's shadow, I'm going to use the W1, and then I'll blend the edge of that W1 with a 0. And that'll sort of blend it into the white cardstock. And I'm just going to work on the top first and then the bottom. And then I'm also going to do the same thing for the bottom panda. So, you could leave it white, but it still shows the panda as white, but just with some shading. So it makes it look a little bit more realistic. And this is really easy to do. After I'm done with all this shading, I'm going to cut out the top panda. There are matching dies to the stamp set, but I don't have them, so I'm just going to cut with a scissor. And then I'm going to cut his head off so that I can separate it by the bamboo. I'm also going to add some grass. I'm using 3 different colors, and I'm going to start with the darkest, and I'm flicking upward. So I start at the bottom and I just flick my pen upward. I do the dark first and kind of leave some space in between. Then I fill in a little bit more with the medium, and then I fill in the rest with the light. So to get this guy over the bamboo, I'm going to kind of place his head so I know where to start. And then I'm going to cut a little bit so I know where I need to be. And with my X-Acto knife and a cutting mat underneath, I'm just going to cut a little slit at the bottom edge of the bamboo, wide enough to fit the panda. So you can see I've got this hole, and I'm going to pop the head portion up on top of the bamboo with some dimensionals. So he's kind of like leaning over the bamboo. And then for the bottom, I just put some 2-way glue pen, and I'm going to use that slit to just put this bottom portion underneath so that the bamboo looks like it's in front of his body. And in this card, I'm going to straighten out his bottom. And but what I decided that as I was watching the video, it looked so cute when it was kind of slanted, like he was struggling to hang on. And so after the video, I went back and I slanted his little body a little bit. You can see where it's in the slit right there, just enough to cover up the line. I decided to use this hang in there sentiment from a really old hero art set. I can't remember the name. I'll put the name on my blog. It's the only one I could find that had the hang in there sentiment that was small enough to fit in this little area. I did trim it back, by the way, 1/4 of an inch for the top and the bottom. So it's 5-inch panel. I'm ready to adhere this to my card base. So I'm going to use my ATG, and I'm going to center it between the top and the bottom. And I've cut 2 pieces of green leaf cardstock by Simon Says Stamp, which matches the ink that I used. And I'm going to put 1/4 of an inch on top and 1/4 of an inch on the bottom. I really hate to waste cardstock, so that's why I don't mat on a full panel. The inside sentiment is from Altenew. It's one of my favorite sentiment sets. It's got so many in there. and I just stamped it in the center there on the inside. And that is the card for today, except for that the top panda is a little off to the side in the photos if you want to take a look at those. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It's so cute. I love the set. I can't wait to do another one, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.